Hello and welcome. I'm Patrick Curtis, your host and chief monkey, and this is the Wall Street Oasis Podcast. Join me as I talk to some of the community's most successful and inspirational members to gain valuable insight into different career paths and life in general. Let's get to it. Another interesting chat with the WSO interns. If you're interested in applying to the internship, please check out the show notes. There's a link right there. Enjoy. Welcome, everybody, to the weekly intern chat. See some new names here. Hi, Emma. Hi, Hala. Hi, Adrian. Rahul. Kara, if I'm saying it right. And an iPhone. I didn't know an iPhone would join. iPhone, that's the second time that's happened. It says iPhone, doesn't even tell me their name. So I don't know who's on the iPhone, but welcome. We are here this weekly call. Typically the way it works, for those of you that are new, is we spend a few minutes answering any questions, if there are any, around the internship itself, the finance research internship. And then from there, we like to either open it up to questions about specific interviews, recruiting issues, career paths, that answer questions about career paths and what you're trying to do. And then I try to answer them as best I can. And then we typically also do a screen share where I share my screen and I do like a resume review, one or two, depending how much time we have. So I have one resume here from a member or from a user that really posted on Wall Street Oasis on the forums. Wanted to do this here because it was a really viral thread, because the person was really frustrated that they weren't able to get a job or get an internship or anything like that. Nabil, why are there two pages? Is there something on the second page? Was their name on there or something?
Yeah, the name was on the second page. I guess there's two pages for some reason. With the name, I think that's the header or something, maybe on Word, and then I just copied over to 2 pages.
Well, that's like big mistake number one.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so this person was like really upset, really breaking down. And I think what we're going to end up doing is, with their permission, we'll post this there, or we'll just share the video with them so that they can, in this thread, to give them kind of a perspective of maybe why they're having trouble breaking in. So we're going to go through that resume because maybe it'll resonate with some of you in terms of what you have to do. I don't even see any education on here.
Doesn't look like it, right?
There's no school on here?
Nope.
This is literally the resume? She or he? Is it he or she?
It's a she, yes.
This is literally the resume she's sending out. I mean, it answers all the questions we need to know. I mean, this is going to be like, I'm going to go on a rant in that thread. I mean, we'll go over her bullets too, but oh gosh, get me going here. Sorry, I'm just redoing my camera because I get blurry sometimes. It's kind of a piece of shit camera, but anyways, so does anybody have questions on the finance research internship? So I know a lot of you are new. Any questions kind of getting started? Some of you may have start dates in a few days, but we kind of welcome all of you to this. Any questions?
Yeah, I start on the 21st.
Cool. Welcome, Rahul.
I wasn't sure where to start, or like if I was going to get any instructions on it.
Yeah, you'll send, once you go into the Slack group, there's all these sticky, like detailed instructions, like step-by-step on like how to actually get started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like through 10 steps. So you just follow those guidelines. And then, of course, you can join us every Friday. And if you have additional questions, you can come on there. Where are you located? What's your background? Or you don't have to share if you don't want to, but.
I live 40 minutes north of New York City. I just graduated from the University of Buffalo.
Oh, nice.
I just actually got a job offer at Bloomberg.
Nice, congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, so I just wanted to, so I'm like at the start of my financial career.
And what are you thinking of doing there?
I'm going to be a financial data analyst.
Okay, awesome. And long run, you just kind of want to be in the finance.
I want to kind of switch to like, I need like the financial analyst experience first, but I want to kind of transition into like, I want to finish my CPA and then kind of, CFA, sorry. And then kind of transfer into like investing and like portfolio management.
Very cool. Love it. Love it. So, well, welcome. Anybody else have questions that has started or thoughts? Hi, Sarah.
I have a quick question. So I started doing my first article. So do we just basically like update the Excel spreadsheet as we go through?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. I just wanted to I didn't know if I was on the right like path or anything. And then we do the hours through the Clockify website.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So then as I'm working on the article, I just press start for the Clockify.
You got it. Yeah,
Okay.
you can put the article you're working on in there. It kind of saves a note, and then basically what happens is once you're done, you just change the status, and we have a much better balance right now than we did kind of at the beginning of the summer. We have a much better balance in terms of editors and uploaders and all this stuff. So ideally, you're not going to be waiting too long to get like comments and feedback back from there, but it shouldn't stop you from moving on to the next one because otherwise you'll never finish. It still takes us usually a few days to get to it. So feel free to move on to the next one once you kind of have kind of hit those check marks and stuff like that. And then
and then sorry, I have another question.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
And then we basically just like choose any of like the topics like on that spreadsheet on like the project.
Anything you want that's not assigned. Correct.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't like taking someone else's article.
Yeah, just make sure it's not assigned already.
Yeah.
The one thing I'd recommend is if like you have a specific interest, like let's say you want to go into trading, then focus on like trading topics and stuff like that. And in like economics, if you want to go into like banking or like like let's say you want to go in like venture, then like focus on venture stuff. You know what I mean? Or startup stuff. There's I think a little over 4,000 topics in there, and I think we've I think around 2,000 have been assigned, Nabil, around there.
Yeah.
So there's about half that are still open. A lot still around like valuation, Excel modeling that we'd like done, financial modeling that are really relevant and look good on a CV if you say you like wrote on it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. And then, anything else, Nabil, that I'm forgetting?
No, I think that's about it.
Any other questions around the internship, or any questions we can pivot now and just answer questions around like career interviews, anything like that. People are still kind of streaming in here. 10 minutes late. It's not acceptable. No, just kidding. It's fine. This is more casual. Just a weekly chat that we do. So it's fine if you're late. It's not even required. This is really more for your benefit to answer questions and try to help. So sometimes we have 30 to 40 people join. Sometimes we have a smaller group like today, 15 or so. If there's any questions around careers, interviews, if not, I can jump into this resume review. But if anyone wants us to review their resume, we can also do that. And we can black out the name and the address and stuff. So it's not like, because we are recording this, we're not going to be like publicizing this everywhere, but it does go up on our, this is released on like our podcast and on our YouTube channel. So we do anonymize those. So it's not like your resumes going everywhere.
Wait, I have a really quick question. Do you mind if I just jump in?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's just like a quick question, sort of like career-wise. So I haven't started college yet. And for like a lot of the colleges that like I'm looking at and considering attending, there's sometimes like undergrad business programs and then just majoring in econ. And I was wondering like if if majoring in econ sort of like makes it more difficult to get jobs in either like, investment banking, private equity, or just the finance world, or if it's safer to go to like an undergrad business program to get like a finance major.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it very much depends on the school. So like if you said to me, hey, I'm going to like my alma mater, like Williams.
Right.
Like it's not really well known except in the Northeast, but it is a pretty good feeder into Wall Street. If based on like the number of people that are actually trying to get there from that school, and the alumni is really strong. So it's not considered a target school, but given the number of students, the student population, which is really small, and the number of people they send there, that's an example of like, it's not an undergraduate business school, it's a liberal arts college. But if you're an economics major there, you kind of know early on and you network properly with the alums and stuff like that, you can actually have a pretty good shot. So I'd look at like, undergrad versus like liberal arts econ as more of like the school itself. So like, are you deciding between several schools, or like, did you start or thinking of transferring? What's the question?
No, because I just graduated high school, so I'm taking a gap year. So I'm going to be applying to colleges now. And so, there's definitely some liberal arts, which I'm considering, some colleges which have undergrad business programs, but also econ programs I'm interested in. So
interesting. Yeah. So for the ones that have kind of an econ and undergrad business program, I'd probably lean you more to the undergrad business, because my guess is that it's going to be a little bit harder to land interviews if you're not in like that tighter network of the finance undergrads and the business undergrads, because that tends to be a little bit more feeder. Like if you go to a Penn is a good example, like undergrad finance. I know there's like these specialist like clubs within Penn that are really hard to get into, and they help you get like the most prestigious buy side jobs right at undergrad. And like there's that's like at the high level. Then there's places that are like a little bit further down the rankings in terms of target universities and how easy it is to get in. I'd recommend you go to our university statistics in the investment banking industry reports, because you can see it's not adjusted by student population, but you can see like if you were to adjust it based on like student population, you can quickly do that and see, hey, wait a second, that's kind of a small school. Why is it ranked top 20?
Right.
You know what I mean? And be like, hey, that might be a good place to go. So are you thinking staying Northeast, go West, South? Where are you?
Yes. Yeah. I'm applying primarily Northeast. So, considering schools like, BC, NYU, maybe a couple liberal arts, Colgate, it's sort of like schools definitely in that.
Yeah. So I would take a look at those stats, because like I think it'll be pretty eye opening.
Absolutely.
NYU is like near the top always, just because it's such a feeder and you're in the city, but it's very expensive and it's very cutthroat and competitive when you're there. So it's not like just because it's ranked number one in terms of like number of interviews, grants, and all that stuff, it doesn't mean it's easy from there, because like half the student population is trying to do that, right?
Right.
So just keep that in mind too, and really try to think like what you want to do for those 4 years and like what place fits your personality best. And I think if you know this early and you're already asking these questions, it's a pretty good sign. You're doing this internship; it's a pretty strong internship for your resume right off the bat. Right. I think that's probably going to put you in a good place and allow you to succeed in a pretty wide range of schools. Of course, as you start going further down the list, like a BC, for example, it's going to be it's going to be a tough road to get into like an investment banking job. Like they do place kids every year, but it's not like a huge number of kids based on the class size, especially.
Of course.
Versus in NYU, they place like probably like thousands of kids, like not 1,000, but like hundreds, you know what I mean? So yeah, just keep that in mind. Yeah. And if you have like, as you get further along, you're admitted and stuff, feel free to shoot me an email and I can kind of give you my thoughts.
Absolutely. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Once you have kind of a choice to make, I think it's good to just be like, okay, here are my options. Now what do I want to do? And if you can visit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Good luck, Adrian. Any other questions, thoughts?
I have to leave in about like 5 minutes, but I could send you my resume to go over, and then I could just, if I could like watch the podcast later on, I could do that and like make the critiques on my own.
Why don't can we do it next week if you have more time next week? Because
yeah, that's fine. I didn't know if it was like a weekly thing or.
We're here every Friday.
Okay. All right.
Almost every Friday. I missed last week because I was gone, but like almost every Friday we're here. And then I like to have the person on, because
no worries.
Sometimes I'm like, why are you doing this? Or explain this. This doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
And so I think it's helpful to have you on, but yeah, I'd be happy to look through it. Where are you? What year are you? Or
I just graduated. I go to Quinnipiac University in Connecticut.
Yep.
It's a smaller college.
I've heard of it.
I'm doing getting my MBA. So it's called +1 program. So you just stay an extra year and you get your MBA.
Okay.
an extra year. So it's a good deal.
Awesome. Yeah, let's definitely go through it. So you had undergrad there and you're staying on a +1 to get your MBA with just in 1 year.
Yeah.
So is it accelerated, like really intense?
Yeah. So it's called the 3+1 program. So you do your undergrad in 3 years and then your MBA in 1 year. So I started taking MBA classes so last year, I guess I took one in the fall of last year and then one in the spring. But to finish my undergrad in 3 years, I had to take like summer classes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have time necessarily to do an internship because I was just always in school. So this is like my first.
And are you doing that mostly because costs for tuition, keep tuition low?
Yeah. And it was fixed tuition all 4 years. So whatever tuition was in 2019, I still have that tuition right now, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And it includes like 18 credits per semester plus 6 credits over the summer and 6 credits over like the winter term. So it's a pretty good deal for what you get.
What are you trying to break into? What school or what careers?
I'm not exactly sure. I want to do like something along the lines of financial analyst. But I don't think I want to do advising. I just don't think that's for me. But I think like the analyst route is something I want to go into.
Financial analyst at like a Fortune 500 or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we can talk about it. I think I could probably help your resume a lot.
Yeah.
I'm guessing just based on your background, I would have told you don't go get the MBA.
Yeah.
To be honest, I would have said go work a couple of years and then go back.
Okay.
But I get it. But I mean, it's fine. You have it. You're doing it now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but totally fine. I see the MBA as like a reset, a really nice reset if like you're not where you want to be. So it's almost like an option card rather than like a real or a place where you're really learning that much additional. So, but like, it's fine. Like, let's look at where you're at and then try to hone in a little bit more on like what you want to target. Cause it's now, it's September, you're basically out in like 9 months, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's go time.
It's coming up quick. Yeah.
It's go time. You got to like, if we're heading into a recession, we'll see. I mean, labor market's still tight. So you may have an easier time getting interviews and stuff like that. But if we head into a deeper recession, it might be a tough time to be graduating.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but yeah, we'll figure all that out. We'll look through it and happy to review it next Friday.
Awesome. Thank you.
No worries. Yep. Thank you. Spencer has his hand raised. What's up, Spencer?
Hey, Patrick, I just have a quick question.
Sure.
So I'm currently a junior student at a non-target school, but I know this internship is really valuable in terms of breaking into investment banking. However, down the road, I have been noticing a lot of I think search fund internships. So I'm just curious, like if you have any insights on that relevance to break into sell-side jobs.
This is a great question. So you're saying like you're seeing a lot of internships for search funds.
Yes, basically. I'm just considering like down the road if it's gonna be like worth it to take it or like.
Well, you're a junior right now, right? Or you're starting your junior year?
Yeah. Just
you're trying to break into sell side like IB roles.
Yeah. Like in my fourth year.
What did you do over the summer, or did you?
I did intern at a private wealth management at a Big Five, so in Canada.
And what about the previous year?
Previous year was just an office assistant job.
Okay, so you're kind of uphill battle already in the sense of like non-target, I'd say average internships, right? You don't have a boutique IB internship on your resume yet, right? This will help get you in the map, but I think rather than focusing on like stacking another internship, search fund is like, it's not that relevant to IB. Rather than focusing on that, I'd get this on your resume, this internship on your resume, but then I'd really focus on like trying to get something for junior summer is like the key, right? And so like almost all those seats have been filled.
Mm-hmm.
So, but not all the seats have been filled. So like you can get into a lower middle market investment bank, a small, and even if it's a 3 to 10 person shop, somehow network your way into that. That's going to give you a much better shot. Is your GPA decent?
Is around the A minus area. A minus, like a
3.5,
3.6, 3.7.
That's fine. Okay. So so I think it'd be great to do a resume review with you as well on here at some point, maybe next Friday as well, to kind of go through it, and we can, blank out your name and everything like that, your contact info. But it'd be great to do that, because I get a sense that your resume is going to be like, it's good. It's probably going to be good, but is it enough to kind of get you over the hump? And are you looking at the right firms and attacking the right firms and approaching networking the right way to give yourself the best odds to having a really important internship coming your junior summer?
Okay, good. So basically, like, I think I should aim towards like investment banking, like advisory.
Well, when would
like
you be
small-
doing? Yeah, like, I mean, what would you even be doing this search fund internship next summer?
Next summer, yeah, like junior summer, because I failed the IB recruiting process this past summer, so just want something else like that can pivot me in there.
Well, you failed the IB recruiting process for like all the bulge brackets, middle markets, and all the
I failed middle markets. I didn't apply for bulge. I applied for middle markets mainly.
What about lower middle markets and boutiques, tiny firms?
I did a few, but they got me in the interview process. They said my experience was not enough, and so I just wanted to build on more experience. So that's one of the primary reasons I took this internship.
Yeah, this will help. I bet you if you reapproach them with this on the resume, they may be willing to give you a shot next summer. And then once you have that on your summer, then you potentially try to get a return offer, and then, or if not, at least leverage that experience into like getting into a lower middle market or middle market IB post graduation. But like, I think that's going to be your best path. And definitely like look boutique. You should be looking boutiques and networking with boutiques anywhere around you. You're in Canada, you said?
Yeah.
Are you near Toronto?
Yeah, in Toronto area.
Okay, so it's still relatively small. So it's not like, would you be able to get into the US?
Yeah, I'm looking transition there. Looking transition if I have the ability to. Of
course, it's like visa, and then it's harder with the boutiques. This is like the catch 22, right?
Yeah,
like
really hard.
The places like that are most likely to need or want you are the tiny boutiques, and they're the ones that aren't going to be willing to sponsor you.
But thank you, Patrick, for your insights.
Oh yeah, let's try to figure it out. I think there's other ways to potentially get yourself there in a not as direct method. Like look at places that do valuation type work. Like what about going back to the Big Five or Big Four or whatever?
I have thought about it, but then they only offer for my Big Five, they only offer like 5 to 10 5 spots in Toronto area. So, and it's already pretty much all filled by people who go to targets and summit targets. So in my school, it doesn't typically happen.
Yeah, I mean, still try, but yeah, I hear you. Yeah, still try though, because like if you can get into transaction advisory services there, that's like a nice springboard into investment banking. But yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's stay. Yeah, hopefully you'll join next Friday, and we can potentially go through your resume too. Happy to just do it here. So yeah, we had a post. Sorry, anybody else have questions? Career oriented stuff, school stuff, interview stuff. No? Okay. If not, I think now we can kind of spend a few minutes. So we had this post on the site in the forums. I think it was called a non-targets failure. Nabil, was that what it's called? It was somebody who had been really frustrated, saying they've been trying for 3 years to break in from a non-target, all this stuff. And here's somebody else. I'm hopeful. Like, did you send? Did you send? Yeah. Did you send the?
I did send the email.
That person.
Link. Yeah.
Okay. It says Joyous iPhone. Hi, Joyous. So this person was really frustrated. She or he has been. You said?
Yeah.
She'd been trying for 3 years, I think, to get in, and so she did send her resume through. I figured we could kind of take a look through. She'd been trying for investment banking, right, Nabil?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's share the screen here. See if I can pull this over. There we go. So what we have is on the left is we have the resume that was sent in. On the right is kind of our traditional templated resume. I'm going to zoom this in a little bit. View 100%, zoom 120. Let's look at it 120. So a couple of things on the left that stand out to me if they're trying to get into investment banking. Number one, it's a PDF and it was 2 pages. That's like huge mistake. Number one, like why is it drifting on the second page? It's really weird that she sent it that way. So that's like just sloppy. Big mistake number one. Big mistake number two, having a big space dedicated to executive summary. A lot of people from non-targets hear from the Career Center and from people to do this. And by the way, can you guys see my screen? Nabil, can you see it?
Yeah.
Cool. So a lot of people are told to do this. What's your objective? What's your summary? You have to have this. No, you really don't have to have this for an investment banking job. Really, as an undergrad, you should lead with your education. This resume, I don't even see any education. I just see work experience. So like 2 huge errors. 2 pages, meaning sloppy. The PDF wasn't PDF properly. It's throwing something onto the second page, number one. Number two, executive summary up there, which isn't needed. It's a waste of space. Number 3, there's no education. I mean, no education. I've never even seen that on a resume. I don't know if this is like partially sent. So already within 30 seconds, I can see exactly why she's not having any success. And if she had had a resume review or a good resume review, somebody who has worked in the industry or somebody from our resume review team actually looked through this, somebody could have told her that. But real quick, I kind of want to be able to send some of this. So this would be gone. You'd need education up there. You need some sort of GPA, something in there. Let me know when you're graduating. Work experience. Okay, let's start at the bottom and move up. So this was like a summer internship and enterprise risk management, supported organized change management with training content development to support the change in the underwriting process at CMB as a rising senior in college, currently with various professionals across the organization to gather necessary information to create effective training materials with underwriters in mind. Iteratively improve the presentation of training materials by collecting feedback and approval from various internal groups for feedback and approval. Feedback and approval is kind of a weird, awkward thing to say before submitting to HR. This is the most important document in your job search, and you have really weird, like, duplicative things. Have you not reread your bullets once? And I'm being really mean. But have you not reread your bullets once and realize that sounds awkward? Are you speaking to somebody that's native in English? Is this person not native in English? Are they bad writers? This is what's going through my head as a reviewer. So just even starting here, I can tell you immediately, I'm just glancing up at all these bullets. I don't think I see one number. Quantification is crucial. I don't see one number. I don't see one impact that she made. I don't see any quantification. So it's really hard for me as a reviewer. It just looks like she goes like this. I did this. Her bullets weren't bad. So let me give you an example of how one of these bullets could change to make it stronger. Coordinated with various professionals. Who? With the VP of X. Coordinated with the VP of X and the XYZ across the organization, okay, is vague, to gather the necessary information, vague, to create effective training materials, vague. So with underwriters in mind. So how about just to create effective underwriting training materials? How about say, including a 37-page underwriting training pitch deck? Ooh, pitch deck. You just got pitch deck in there. You just got pitch book in there. That's a keyword for investment banking recruiting. Guess what? Now the automated screeners looking through your resume might actually flag yours with relevant experience. So that's one example, but I didn't even quantify. I said X number of pages. That's something. But how about this next one? Supported organizational change management with training content. Support the underwriting process at CMB. That sounds like it's the same as the second bullet. Something else, so like she's trying to fit in a lot of bullets, or 3 to 5 or 6 bullets each. She would be much better off in between the main sections, getting a lot more space above here, and then in between each of the experience sections, like she's jamming this together. So my eye is it's gonna be much harder for me to actually stop and read this stuff because everything is compacted and jammed. And then look, she's getting like these bullets wrapping into 3 lines. You're telling me you can't get this bullet into 2 lines? So I know it sounds silly, but this attention to detail is basically your job in investment banking. It's basically your job. You're telling me these bullets need to have 2 words on one line. You can't consolidate this onto 1 row or expand on it so it has more quantification and is a stronger bullet. Identified cases of check fraud. How many? An invalid check posting. Strategizing ways to minimize these issues from an enterprise perspective. What was the impact? Helping to reduce fraud 2% over my 6-month period. I don't know those numbers. Go ask your manager. What's reasonable? Go ask the person you worked with. What's reasonable? Assistant providing operational support to clients. How many clients? Both internally and externally. By reviewing and analyzing data reports and manuals. What type of data reports and manuals? What kind of data? Did you use Excel? That would be great to get in here. Did you use another program? Let's get that in here. Where are your skills? Where's your model? Where's your modeling? Where's your interest section? There's no interest on here. I think you're just like a machine or a robot. Give me some flavor. So I don't know. This is mean-spirited the way I'm doing it, but it's just frustrating to me that somebody can come on there, create a huge rant about not breaking in, not even use our free resume template that's available right in the header of the site. Anyone can download investment banking resume template. Use it. It works. Anybody, the problem is I think people trust people who've never actually worked in the industry. They go into the career office and they're told what they want to hear of, yeah, this looks great. This looks great. And so then they pat themselves on the back. They go over to the online applications. They drop their resume into 200 applications thinking, I did so much work. And then when they get 3 interviews, they're kind of like shocked. Like, how could somebody not want to interview me? And then when they get no offers, it's like double shock. And sometimes for some of these people who've been told how great they are since they were really little, it's a big shock. It might be the first time they failed or failed significantly. Maybe they're at a school that's kind of easy with grade inflation. And so they've been told they're getting A's and A minuses their entire way through. But reality is the competition's much harder out there for these jobs. And so, I'm being harsh in the sense because you don't know what you don't know. And clearly this person just doesn't know, just looking at it, clearly the person doesn't know what it takes to actually get a role. So like, to me, it makes me want to go into that thread and just literally list out all like the huge flaws in her resume. This is why she's not even getting on the phone. She's not even getting phone interviews. She's not even getting screened at first. Don't you think after 3 years, if you haven't been out getting given 1 interview or 1 phone screen, you'd get some help or you'd get somebody to look through it that's actually in the industry? And guess what? She hasn't done it because she's not resourceful. You need to be resourceful. You need to be willing to get on the phone. You need to be willing to humble yourself and be like, hey, I just want to know how you did it. Do you mind taking a look at my resume? Guess what? Anyone who's worked in banking or anything would say the exact same thing that I've said, or almost identical, in terms of how to strengthen it. So nothing new. I feel like I'm a broken record, Nabil, with all this stuff. But it's like, it's over and over and over and over again. And even the people here in the internship, like, we've done how many of these reviews? And like, I think we've had 1 really strong resume, Nabil. We had one really strong resume. It was a guy, guess what? It was a guy from NYU who's literally in the most cutthroat competition to get IB. And his resume was super strong. But then the vast majority of everybody else, it's very weak. They're very weak. And so don't overestimate kind of how strong your resume is. This happened to people like at Williams when I was an undergrad. People thought, like, even I thought, oh, I'm going to be getting a job. It took me, I got a lot of interviews. My resume, I had a high GPA, I was economics major, had some good leadership, sport, well-rounded, whatever. I got a lot of interviews, but even then, like it was 2002, we were going into recession right after 9/11. And people were canceling left and right. People were fake interviewing, meaning there was really no positions. They were just coming on campus to keep the relationship. And so I ended up getting an offer from Rothschild, New York. It was like one of the few places that like extended some offers to people from Williams, but it was like my 30th interview. meaning like I'd gone to final rounds at Goldman, got blown out of the water there. I'd gone to final rounds at a bunch of places, and I couldn't quite close it. I wasn't quite strong enough. And part of that's because of the liberal arts background. You're up against UPenn, Wharton, undergrad business majors that know a lot more about valuation and DCFs. And back then there was no Wall Street Oasis to help guide me. So, you just don't know what you don't know. And just because you're a strong student doesn't mean you're going to do well. And just because you fill up your resume with internship experience doesn't mean they owe you an interview. Especially when nowadays there's so many strong candidates that understand the game and do the research and do the homework to know kind of how to present themselves. So that's all I'll say. My rant for the day. Any questions on that resume specifically, or anybody else want me to dive through there? Otherwise, we can keep it short this week. Nabil, I swear I'm going to go on that post and just go off on a rant.
You could, yeah.
Or can you forward that email to me where she sent the email? I'm gonna literally write back to her.
I just did, maybe.
Okay.
I'll just do it now. Yeah.
Okay. It's like depressing.
Yeah.
How somebody with that can think they've like put in all this effort and not like stop themselves. Like if you're trying to like do anything, sell anything, whether it's selling yourself for a job, selling a product or a service, like you have to see where it's breaking down. If you're not even getting any calls, there's something wrong with like the product market fit, right? There's something wrong. They're not resonating on like your pitch decks, your materials, the way you're angling. You have to start from the beginning. You have to start it with your resume. And then if you're getting on pitches and you're not closing, it's probably your pitch. It's probably your tone, your communication, your confidence, something. So it's the most important skill throughout your career is to practice that stuff. So a lot of people will get really honed in on like the resume and they'll get lots of interviews. And then they get in the interview and they're really nervous and they kind of just fall on their face over and over and over again. And they fail to practice that part. Or other people like just can't even get through the initial door. So anyways, we'll call it here unless anybody has any other questions. Going once, going twice, 3 times. Okay. Well, we'll see you next Friday again. If you want to join, we'll probably do another resume review, or a couple. It sounds like a couple people want their resumes torn apart. I promise I'll be nicer if you're on here. I'm just trying to help. I just want to make sure that all of you kind of put your best foot forward and give yourself the best shot. Okay. That's all for now. And thanks for all your help with the writing and the content. We're seeing some great progress on the traffic to these new articles. This finance research internship is really helping the business and the community. So thank you. And thanks to you, my listeners at Wall Street Oasis. If you have any suggestions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to send them my way, Patrick@wallstreetoasis.com. Until next time.